Well, hello once again. This is Jonathan Miller with the Hometown Historian channel. We are out here on the Stoney Valley Rail Trail. If you go that direction, that will actually take you down to Roush Gap, Cold Springs, and Yellow Springs. I believe one of these mountains, I think this is Second Mountain, and then the next mountain, I think, is Sharp Mountain. I might not be right about that, but this is, in essence, the area where my best friend Cliff, the Wandering Woodsman, got excuse me, started with his channel, the Wandering Woodsman. So I actually came out here today. I'm going to do a haunted history video, and the entire credit goes to Cliff on this. He had told me a couple stories that he said you should use for your haunted history, because he did a series a couple years back, which he's been doing haunted videos again this fall, but he did a pretty extended series, I think at least 21 episodes, called Haunted Pennsylvania. And so this is a story that I saw, and I was like, I'm going over to do, I believe it's Route 325, do a Country Roads Take Me Home. It's a pretty cool drive. I don't know how much foliage is actually going to be out anymore, because it does look like most of the leaves have dropped. But anyways, this is right along the way. It's out in the gold mine region. We had done a Country Roads Take Me Home that we did over Gold Mine Pass, which is through here. And so this story goes full credit to Cliff. Had done the research and found the story. It's actually called the Headless Miner. Now, part of the story he had done, when he had done his video, he actually had gone out that direction is where the Boxcar Rocks are, and they say that that people have seen that spirit there, but they also mention in the story apparently that the railroad was up there, and there is some coal mining railroads that are out, I know, that way and up on the mountain, that they did some stuff, but I wasn't aware, like down in the valley, like down here, and he had said too, he wasn't aware of any railroads up there, because the story goes there were a couple of kids, young men, maybe teenagers at the time, that were out going along the railroad tracks, just minding their own business, you know, doing their thing, and all of a sudden they saw this ghostly figure going along, and I guess by the clothing they could tell that it was a miner, and he was pushing along a wheelbarrow along these railroad tracks. And the thing about it that made it odd is apparently he wasn't carting coal, he was carting his head. Now, how exactly they saw his head in the wheelbarrow, he was obviously headless, so maybe because he's a ghostly apparition, they had seen through the wheelbarrow and saw the head sitting in there. Honestly, I'm not really sure. I guess over time, then when they came back home, they told their father about it, and he didn't believe them. And he said he believed what they saw was something like foxfire. I believe Cliff had said what it is. What it is basically in the summer, when you have rotting wood, and along at that time some of the timbers were still here on the railroad tracks, because this was where the railroad tracks went through. It leaves like a greenish smoke. Cliff has said he'd never seen that before. I've never seen it before. I never even heard of that before, but it gives almost like a ghostly vapor that goes along. So he said that's what he thought that they saw. They still claimed that no, they saw this headless miner, this ghostly figure going around, maybe looking for somebody to help him out and to return his head back to where it should be. There are a lot of coal mining in this region, so how he lost his head, probably in some kind of coal mining accident. But that's the Headless Miner, and they do say you'll see him occasionally out in the Boxcar Rocks, wandering around, maybe without the wheelbarrow. But yeah, sort of an eerie story. Is like, what would you do if you saw something like that just going along the trail here? Pretty pretty disturbing, pretty scary. This is sort of an eerie area, but that is the story of the Headless Miner. still going around, and like Cliff said, maybe he's looking for somebody else's head, because maybe he was quite ugly and thought I might as well get a, you know, an up change here where I get a better looking head. So I better get out of here because they do say I'm rather handsome. Thanks once again, everybody, for coming along, and we will see you all about town.